Elliott. Zeke ran for 96 yards, caught 3 passes for another 31 yards, and scored Dallas's only 2 touchdowns of the evening. The success didn't go unnoticed, with Pro Football Focus naming Elliott as the NFL's best running back Week 1. So, Shannon, should the Cowboys feed Zeke more? And I am not talking about the tattoo.
Yeah. You know what? I didn't realize what that tattoo said because I was looking at it, and somebody and I was asking, I said, well, what did the tattoo say? Because I see him lift his shirt up, and it said, feed me.
Feed me.
Zeke, you do know you're not going to have that 25 body. Then you have to put don't.
Don't feed me?
If you don't have, if the abs disappears. Skip, Zeke was unbelievable. Now, had they given this award to Edwards-Helaire of Kansas City, Skip, I don't think you or I would have disagreed.
Like first team all Sunday. I agree.
So maybe it was because of the But, Skip, Zeke was
And
special.
by the way, Derrick Henry was pretty good last night, too. But go ahead.
Skip, when I look at Zeke looked reinvigorated. He looked rejuvenated.
I agree.
I mean, he always falls forward, but he looked like he had a burst that I hadn't seen Zeke have, especially out the gate. I agree. In a long time.
Yep.
Caught the ball extremely well, ran with conviction, ran with power, shoulder burst that I'm not used to seeing. Skip, but I'm a firm believer, and this is why, for the most part, Skip, Zeke has always been ranked higher on when the players and coaches have to than Dak. Because if you look at it, Skip, when they ran play action, Dak was 9 of 11 on play action, averaged 11 yards per attempt. On non-play action, he was 16 and 28, 5 yards per attempt. Just watch the game last night. Man, when they stick that ball in Derrick Henry's belly and he rolled through the line, you had Davis and the guys wide open.
Yep.
You got to honor him.
In the fourth quarter, they were getting just bludgeoned by him. After a while, you just don't want to tackle him.
And so with Zeke, if you got play action, Skip, and plus you got guys, now the play action, you got Gallup, you got Coop, you got CeeDee Lamb. So I'm surprised that they didn't give it to him more and they don't do more off of the play action. I'm a believer that I believe the offense should flow through Zeke. And if it flows through Zeke, good things are going to happen. Because if you look at it, Skip, Zeke has been their workout. And now that he's catching the ball, but I knew he would catch the ball because the backs, you got to catch the ball in the West Coast offense, Skip. They don't really like to do a whole lot. Okay, you run the first 2 downs. Okay, we're going to bring a third down specialist in. The guy stays on the field.
Yeah.
And Zeke can do it all, Skip. He can run the ball, he can catch it, and he's great. The one way you don't play in the West Coast system, Skip, you don't block on third down on blitz pickup because you get your quarterback beat up. And even though Donald slammed him, that was enough to slow Donald from getting a hit on Dak. And that's what you got to have. So I have no problem with this, but I do believe the offense should flow more through Zeke.
Okay. Give me a number. He was 22 for 96 rushing.
I believe Zeke at the bare minimum get 25 carries and probably 4 or 5. Somehow he's got to get between 28 and 30. Skip, you got to get your money out. Skip, I'm playing in 15 mil, and I'm trying to get to Tampa. And I believe with those amount of touches, somewhere between 25 and 30 touches per game gives me a better chance of getting to Tampa.
I thought you were going to go 30, like 30 rushes.
No, Skip, 30 I don't know if he can take that, Skip. That's 380. So if you give him 30 rushes, that's 380 carries. Plus, you're going to probably tack on, Skip, another, 50, 60 catches? Skip, you push him to that's crossing another Rubicon. You know when guys give them 400 touches, Skip, you know ain't no coming back.
His career high carries is 33. And remember, it was at Washington. I believe this game was on a Thursday night. If I'm not mistaken, it was a rain game, like a big mutter game.
Yeah.
And he went 33 carries.
No, that was a Sunday game.
Night game?
That was a Sunday.
I just have it in my head.
Yeah, it was raining. Yeah, I remember.
Game, right?
Yes.
He had 33 carries for 150 yards, and they beat a pretty bad Washington team that night. But it was a rain game.
Right.
So you were like, okay, we got it.
Yes.
We got it. Then his career-high touch game was that overtime in 2018 against the Eagles at Dallas. Do you remember this? He carried it 28 times and caught it 12 times. It was 28 for 113 and 12 for 79 more yards.
Right.
And it went overtime, and they finally prevailed 29-23 in overtime. Remember, late pass to Amari?
Yeah.
And in that game, Dak Prescott threw for 455 yards. 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, but it went seesawed back and forth because he made a couple of mistakes. But then in overtime, he was sensational.
He was dealing, yes.
Okay, so that's career high. That's 40 touches in that game.
Right.
And yet, after I watched the second half the other night, there's merit to what you're saying. There's just merit. Yet the irony of everything we're talking about here is my Cowboys have 3 potential 1,000-yard receivers, and you're saying, no, it's got to flow through 21. What? Well, maybe that is the case because something went wrong in the second half because Dak was just sizzling in the first half.
Yes.
And he goes 15 of 18 for 187, and he's on his way to a big night.
Yes.
And in the second half, he goes 10 of 21 for 79 total pass yards, and they go 1 of 8 on third down. And Zeke dropped out of the picture because they said, let's just throw it.
Right.
So 21 passes in the second half to 18 in the first half. So they kept going throw. And again, the other irony here is you just said he makes $15 million. Well, the quarterback now makes almost $32 million, so more than twice as much.
Right.
And by the way, you campaigned through the offseason for the quarterback to make almost 3 times as much as Ezekiel Elliott, who is the bell cow.
He about to get it, right? Skip. Look at what the Kansas City Chiefs did. They gave Mahomes all that money.
Yep.
And what did they do opening night? Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
I loved him, and I said that before the draft. I wanted the Buccaneers to get him.
And so there will be a time if teams want to stack the box and say, no, we refuse to let you run it today, Cowboys, that's when CD and Amari and Gallup can come into effect. But if you're going to run against Skip, that's light box. Because they stay in 11 personnel. Tight end, 3 wide receivers, and 1 running back.
They do.
So basically, you're going to be Skip. You're going to be running against a nickel defense. Nobody's playing base defense to that formation. So you should have light boxes. Run them out of it. Run them out of it.
Okay, so here comes your Atlanta Falcons, your hometown team, who've been a mess.
Ever since the Super Bowl.
They've been a mess. They got blown off their home turf on Sunday by maybe the best quarterback in football, or at least he's 1A.
Yeah, they look good.
Russell Wilson. Score was 38-25, and now Dallas is a 5.5-point home favorite over the Atlanta Falcons. Okay, it's at Jerry World. And yet, look what Russell did to them throwing the ball. He goes 31 of 35? 31 of 35?